Prepare audience for maximum impact. Full immersion begins in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's simple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple.
I'm Ibn'rad, 69, student and minister of action for the Realist Temple on Earth, and I'm making this particular video. Okay, here we go. Man, it is burning up. But you want to know something? In religious circles, they always say that this place called hell is much hotter than anything that we will experience while we live. And you will burn forever. There is nothing that burns forever. Everything always has a beginning and an ending. We don't know nothing in this life that does not have a beginning or an ending. We may not see its beginning, but we know it had one. and we may not see its ending. But all the things in our life and what we understand has a beginning and an ending. And when it comes to burning, there is nothing that is on fire or can contain heat forever. It is even said that one day the sun that we rely on will burn itself out. I don't know, perhaps when that day comes, that which you call the end of the world, that might happen on that day. But that's not the subject. My topic, of which I would like to speak just a minute on, is the existence of what some call black racist, black supremacy. Now, first of all, there is no such thing as a black racist. There is no such thing as black supremacy. Does not exist. But it does exist in the minds of those excuse me, my throat is very sore. But it does exist in the minds of those who really do not know what racism is. Even so, let us compare the so-called black racism or the so-called black supremacists to white supremacy, to white supremacists. Now, when was the last time that you saw so-called black racists? In fact, before we even go further, I have a question for you. Prior to the white man, show us in history where dark people treated white folks in a racist manner. According to history, dark people, or the African, greeted and welcomed the white man with open arms as a friend. The black man or the African or any dark person did not view the white man as an enemy and did not begin to act violent and hateful toward the white man until the racist Caucasian people began to murder them, rape their women, take their land, and we know what history, their own history that they write, verify. The so-called black racist is a consequence and a result of a people being oppressed, a people who were oppressed and targeted, discriminated against due to racism. As in white supremacy, these people made a skin color that was light supreme over the dark. What is also interesting, if white people or the Caucasian is so intelligent and so superior and all this, why do they have to false flag black channels? Why do they have to hide behind a picture and act like a coward if you so supreme, if you so intelligent? This goes to show that you are a liar. And what you're trying to hide is the real intelligence, the real value of those of whom you have made mockery of, who you have demeaned. These Caucasian people who are racist are not used to black people who speak like me, who don't give a damn about them, who speak with intelligence, who are learned, who are educated, who can deal, debate, discuss with the best they got. And since the best they have, their knowledge is tainted in deceit, half-truth. When a black man carries real truth, or even a white person carries real truth, they can't do nothing with them. But the wicked always got to try to paint their victim like their victim behaves like them. So let us compare the black races to the white races. When was the last time black races enslaved a large group of white people and robbed them of the knowledge of themselves, stripped them of their Europeanism, and made them Africans by force? Did not happen. Do not exist. When was the last time white people complained about the laws created by black racists? Oh, the white people do not live under laws and do not live in a country by black racists. Nowhere in the world. Where in the world do a black government, but we're going to stay in America because these suckers always want to talk about in Africa or somewhere else. No, we want to talk about, and we're going to stick with what y'all wicked, racist suckers have done and are doing in America. Is there a black form of Willie Lynch? I mean Jim Crow? No. How does black racism, how does it affect you in your daily life? Does not affect you at all, except you get sick and tired of black folks complaining and bringing up the real truth of your history and who you are. Other than that, black people don't bother you. We have no effect, and the black racist has no effect on you in your daily life. Do you see the so-called black racists lynch white men and white women? And while they are lynching the white woman and the white man, do the black racists have a picnic while they tar and feather you? No, you don't see these things. White people go in and out of the black community. Nobody's following you around. Nobody is tripping on you. But when black people go into certain parts of the white community, you can end up jailed and in prison for no reason. A white woman will scream rape and they will believe her. How many black women scream rape so that black racists can be happy, and then they charge you with rape and send you to jail? It does not happen. These black women voluntarily give themselves to you, and they love those who rape their grandmothers and great-grandmothers. They love the children of the people that brought terror to their own family. This shows you how sick your blacks are. And you are angry at the so-called black racists because they don't go for that. You want them sick. You want black people sick. But if somebody raped your white woman, if somebody beat up your dog, you can't never forget no comparison. There is no comparison between so-called black racists and white racists, because black racism, black racists don't exist. You have black people who are sick and tired of being mistreated. Has nothing to do with racism, because they are not in a position to do anything, nor do you hear the majority of them wanting to do anything to Caucasian people. They just want to be left alone and want to build and be an independent people and try to find the knowledge that was stolen from us as a people. Many of these so-called black racists, they work for white people. Some of them even have white associates. But the list can go on and on. There is no comparison. It is silly and it's stupid and it sounds dumb. There are no government statistics about so-called black racism. A person can hate white people if they want. They can dislike white people if they want. That is not racism. And the reason why dark people hate white folks is because of the evil that living in the society controlled by white people based on racism. Because even if you watch the white man's own news program, he will show you that there is a difference in money, in housing, employment. Everything is different. And the black people of the United States, although we fight in all the wars, although our ancestors built this nation on their backs, although we have contributed to the society over and over again, we are not treated as a citizen. You have people that come across the border, and in fact, the governor of Illinois just signed a bill so that the children of illegal immigrants can get private funding to go to college. But you have blacks and even poor whites struggling to pay for college. There's something wrong, and that wrong is not the black racists. That's a result of the wrong of white supremacy. And if you want to solve your problem, you have to deal with white supremacy, not the symptom or the result of white supremacy. But it's up to you. But you don't want to, because that's fighting against white folks. And you will support your evil ancestors no matter what they do. But they bringing you down slowly but surely. It's your choice. Black racism, that's stupid and it's silly. You should be ashamed of yourself. In the name of my ancestors, peace, family, and always, welcome once again to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. I am your host, your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I just wanted to address a few comments on my video speaking about little Anya, 7-year-old black girl that was shot by the Detroit Police Department. I have persons, and it sounds like they are Caucasians. I don't know what they are, but they sound like, so I can't verify. But they sound like they are Caucasians, and they are upset with me because I emphasized on my video black girl. So my question to you, was she Native American? Was she Caucasian? Was she Chinese? So if I said 7-year-old black girl shot by Detroit Police Department, am I telling the truth? And I would be. Now, when they sent this child, this human being, you want to say, to the morgue, when they identified the body, did they identify the body as human being? No, they did not. They identified the body as a young black female or African American. Girl is the noun. Black is the adjective that describes the noun. So we know who we're talking about. The Detroit Police Department did not shoot a white little girl, did not shoot a white female human being. They shot a little black girl. And we don't want to emphasize this because this is an occurring thing between the black community and police. They are always shooting somebody black, whether it is a little girl or a big grown-ass man. There's a difference. And so they tell me, you're trying to take advantage of the situation, trying to make it racist. Has nothing to do with it. We are different. The same type of relationship white communities or Chinese communities. Matter of fact, I don't even know, as far as the Chinese community is concerned, I don't ever even hear about the police throwing flash grenades in their homes and doing them the way they have done black people. Now, I have heard in some cases where certain poor Caucasians suffer the same type of treatment sometimes, but it is a all the time thing in the black community where the police always bothering us, always hurting us, lying, taking us to jail for no reason. Yes, it is true. Some of us are involved in criminal activity. But a lot of times it is due to harassment because they can do what they can do. You want to tell me about, we human beings, we all got the same blood. No, we don't. Anybody that works with blood would tell you they can tell the difference between somebody that is a black and somebody that has white blood and so forth and so forth. They know the difference. We are not the same. Where the blood is red. Most blood is red, unless you're a horseshoe crab. A horseshoe crab has blue blood. But most times, blood contains hemoglobin, which gives it the red color. I believe I'm correct. And almost anything that living has red blood. So a squirrel, so a rat, so a snake, they got red blood. Are you related to a rat, a squirrel, and a snake? They got red blood. They got hearts. They got lungs. That don't mean they are just like you and me. We are different. You're saying, you're emphasizing black to spread prejudice and racism. Oh, y'all silly people, get the hell out of here. I did not create prejudice. I did not create racism. Who you think created it? You want to denounce me? You want to get on my case about racism, racist intent or prejudice? Who you think started it? It was your good old boy, George Washington and the clique. It was white folks in America, your ancestors, that started prejudice and racism. Not black people. We are the victims. Anything that I say, anything that we do, because we were victims of racism, victims of prejudice. We didn't create it. call you honky. Why am I calling you honky? Because y'all ancestors called us niggas and other vile and vulgar names. You will easily denounce me or any black person standing up for themselves against a racist society. But you won't denounce George Washington. You won't denounce Thomas Paine and John Adams and all your ancestors who made slavery legal. If y'all fake-ass white people so goody two-shoes, then you need to take George Washington and Thomas Paine and all your forefathers, denounce them out of history. Because they were slave owners, they was racist, and you say you are against racism. You say you are against prejudice. Well, who started it? Your forefathers. But you're not going to do that. You'd rather blame the victim, because I am a victim. The Black Panther Party exists because we were victims. The Nation of Islam exists because we were victims. It's a result of evil against us because we got dark skin. But you want to attack. You want to attack your forefathers. Y'all fake hypocrites. And you come on, I should delete your comments, but I want to show how silly you are. We all the same. If we all the same, then you tell me why black unemployment is triple that of white unemployment. If we are all the same, when I turn on television, why is nothing but white people? Every channel I click, the Congress is basically white folks. But we're all equal. All this love. No, you don't want to accept the responsibility for your evil brothers and sisters when they do wrong. They always have jumped on black people, the police. The law enforcement have always put innocent black people and killed innocent black people. That ain't nothing different. So now it's a 7-year-old black little girl. Because she's a little girl. She's not the first victim of racism in this country. Many little black girls younger than her have been killed by racist and prejudiced white people. With a badge and without a badge. Some of them had hoods over their head. Remember that? But you don't want to talk about them. You want to talk about me. Because I emphasize little black girl because that's my family. That's part of me. I understand their hurt and pain because the police done the same kind of crap to me. Luckily, I did not get hurt. Luckily, it's a blessing, however you want to say it. You want to bring that goody two-shoe stuff to me. Identify the families that got rich because they owned slaves or had something to do with the slave trade, if you want to do us a favor. Because you know, y'all know each other. But you don't want to identify them. You want to blame the victims. Because you don't want us to take you to court and win that money and change the balance and really be equal. So when you turn on TV, it's still going to be basically white, but you'll see a whole lot of black faces. You'll see a whole lot of black hotels and airports run by black people. You don't want to see that. You want to see black people keep looking up to white folks like a baby bird look up to his mother to get fed. Don't bring that nonsense here. Take your happy ass on somewhere. All that old fake garbage. If you want to denounce somebody, don't denounce me. I'm the damn victim. Denounce your forefathers. Denounce George Washington, but you ain't going to do that because you really like what they done. You really like racism because you benefit from it. That's the bottom line. Otherwise, stand up and tell the government to get them racists out of the history books. Let's see you do that, but you're not. Thank you for listening. My time is out. This was and is bringing you reality, the reality's temple on earth. Peace and respect. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the host of this particular program, known here on YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, Daily Motion, and perhaps many other places. On the internet, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub Nub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like for you to bear with me, as due to the changing of seasons from the summer to the fall, sometimes I get caught up and I seem to be catching a cold, but I would like to just share, and it is always an honor that you would allow me to share just a few moments to speak with us, and hope that you are a lover of truth, as it is always best to embrace the truth rather than ignore or dilute the truth, because in the end, it is what is best for us. This nation and the world, and we as individuals, we suffer. And we are not enjoying heaven on earth because of our rebellion against the truth, our failure to embrace our reality, our cowardice in challenging those who break the peace. And exactly who are the peace breakers? The main persons of whom break the peace are those who claim to be of peace. So we look at our world right now, and what do we see? What we have seen for generations, what we have seen for the last few thousand years. The same persons, always at war, but at the same time, they claim to be of peace. It began this week with rioting by believers in Islam. And one of the consequences of that riot was the murder or the death of persons who worked for the United States Embassy in Libya. And why were these people rioting? Now, we have found that perhaps terrorism was involved, not just the riot. The riot was used to cover up terroristic action. However, the crowd was upset and believed that the United States of America was behind a film that made mockery and accused the Holy Prophet Muhammad of being a child molester. So we have riots breaking out. And the target is the United States, the embassies in all these major Islamic countries. Now, of course, many so-called Americans are Christian. Why are you getting so upset over this? First of all, if we are lovers of peace, then we do not tolerate nobody from among us to disrespect another person's belief system. You don't have to believe in the Prophet Muhammad, but you should respect another person's belief if they are your friend and ally. I do not believe in spirituality. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in God. But since I know that around me are those who are passionate about their beliefs, then in order to respect them, then I must watch how I speak about that which they believe, because in reality, all of these people are fanatics. The Christians call the Muslims fanatics, but Christians are just as fanatical as Muslims are. And then in this bowl of soup, you drop in a little bit of Judaism, and the Jews are just as fanatical. All of you are religious zealots. It has been that way for the last few thousand years, and you don't have to, you can get angry at me if you want, but you're doing nothing outside of what you have been doing for the last few thousand years. All of these religions, they were born and came to birth through violence. So it is no shock that you see the violence that you see in the Middle East, or the violence perpetrated by the United States of America, a nation of Christians. This nation called the United Snakes of America, it was built on slavery, it was built on genocide, it was built on murder, lies and theft, rape. What do you expect from these people? They only talk about peace. And they show you this false thing on Sunday or Saturday when they go worship. But in the meantime, they hate people. In the meantime, they degrade others. They make mockery. They always fighting among one another, shedding guilty and the blood of innocents. Your Bible, your Quran, your Torah, all these religious books, show me, teach me. You said that you are people of peace, but yet and still in your holy scriptures, show me a lifestyle of peace. It's about rape. It's about sodomy. It's about murder. It's about all kinds of violent behavior. Even your God. Now listen to me. Even your God is jealous. Your God gets angry, and your God can't control his anger. Never a woman, and y'all should be glad that God is not a woman, because this is behavior that you should be ashamed of. This God is jealous. Don't you worship another God except me. And if you don't obey me, I'm going to kill you. I brought you into this world, and I'm going to take you out. You know that's something that your parents used to say when we used to be little children that misbehave. Your parents would say, I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out. This God sounds no different than some hoodlum in the street with his angels behind him, a mafia godfather. That's how this God sounds to me. Thus, I don't want anything to do with religion. And then what makes things worse is that the Muslims and the Jews and the Christians, what makes their behavior even worse is they believe they are justified because this jealous God says, or they believe this jealous God is with them. And they do these things in the name of God. So I will enslave you because God says so. I'm a man, and God said, I run the household. I run this stuff. So I will not treat the woman as an equal. And I will use violent methods to control my children because God said, spare the rod, spoil the child, so I'll do that. These religious people are insane. They are crazy. You have never in history seen those who say they are atheists or non-believers in God behave this way. Yes, there are atheists who have done great harm, but they never justified it because they said, God is with me. So this is what makes things worse. So you have Muslims and Christians fighting one another. They disrespect one another because one believes they are better than another. Then you have Jewish people in the state of Israel who is waiting and planning on murdering Muslims in Iran because those Muslims are a threat to us. It's all about religion. And why is everybody upset? Because God said that the state of Israel belongs to us. It is all madness. It is insanity at the brink. But this is expected because a world is falling. There must be anger. There must be the war of what they call in your scriptures, the war of Armageddon. It all comes out in the wash. You love everybody, but you will hate me because I don't believe in God. You will become prejudiced against me because I don't believe in God. In fact, in the past, these religions have beaten, murdered, terrorized, forced their beliefs on other people. That's why they are as big as they are, because they use violence in order to spread Islam, violence to spread Judaism, violence to spread Christianity all over this planet. And we know that's how it was done. And we praise a God that supports, advocates this type of behavior. This world of religion is madness. And we should, if we have any type of mentality, if you can think for yourself a little bit, then you are wise to leave these people alone. They are savages. They are uncivilized. They hate their mama, hate their fathers because they don't believe in God. They'll kill you, murder you outright, and say it's all right because that's what God wants. Can't you see this is insanity? Warmongers. Where is the peace? Show me the peace that y'all talking about. Except on Sunday. There is none. Look at your behavior. Not only today, but look at your history. Now straighten it up if you can, but you can't, because that's how you are. Religion makes murderers. Religion makes killers. And religion makes slaves. And that's what we see throughout history. And it continues today. Jot down your comments. This was your brother, the Angel Snuffed Up 7. And I'm already 5,000. But at the same time, it is rather sad. I will tell you why it's sad. When you look upon social media is like a thermometer to what the real community really is. In the real community, outside of social media, and even prior to the internet, there have been thousands, if not a few millions of people, black people, African Americans, so-called Negro, Hebrew Israelite, whatever you want to call yourself, there have been thousands of us who are the descendants of slaves born in America for generations, generation after generation. We have stood up and we understand that this place called America is not our home. We understand that it may be impossible for this place called America, as long as the racist Caucasian people control this land, it will never truly be our home. We will never gain true freedom, justice, and equality. So generation after generation, we have people who claim that there is a need for a black revolution, they are part of this movement of black liberation. Either to return back to Africa for those who believe that's where we come from. However, for those who believe that we are natural to this landmass, however you view it, we understand that there's a need for black liberation. So you look upon social media and we see countless videos and blogs or vlogs, however you want to call it. Thousands of people for generations, thousands of black people. They claim and you say that you yearn for the liberation of a people. But yet after all this time, after generations, you sit upon social media almost the same slave your ancestors was. Why is this? Why is this? Now what brings me to this topic and what makes me laugh is that a question came into my mind, or a statement, and that statement or question is, if black revolution, if black liberation was sex, we would be free right now. We would be in Africa, we would be somewhere, we would take over this country, something would be done to change our condition. If we felt about black liberation the way we do towards the sexual act. The reason why we are obsessed with the sexual act because of the pleasure that we get. So we keep wanting more and more and more. If there was no pleasure in the sexual act, if there was no attraction to the opposite sex, and some of y'all the same sex, we would not be interested. There are men and perhaps women, and I know being around certain males, and I might even be snitching on myself. There are men who will walk, not get in a car. They will walk for miles in hopes that they can sleep with some female. They will ride bus after bus. They will hitchhike because they want that vagina. They won't let nothing stop them. And not only is this for men, it's possible for women, but most times men are physical creatures or beings. And we are attracted to body shape. We are attracted to the flesh. And if a male was not attracted to the flesh, then how could the human being reproduce? Because there has to be some type of attraction to this flesh. And I also was looking at this. And I'm not trying to be vulgar or nasty. What does a penis look like? See, some of y'all so obsessed with the penis and the vagina, just talking about this topic. What are you going to say next? What you talking about? What you mean the penis is ugly? My penis looks sort of cute. Normally, the penis, the vagina, if they were not associated with the sexual act, these organs, your genitalia, and for some of us who are not obsessed with the sexual act, we view these organs, our genitalia, as something that
don't look cute. In fact, it's rather ugly. And I'm not going to try to describe it because I don't want to be nasty and vulgar. We know what they look like. Some of us own them. But we are attracted to something that really we should view as ugly. But there is pleasure in that ugliness. There's some type of satisfaction that we crave, that we are attracted to, even in something that may be considered ugly. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I can guarantee you most times no one would consider a vagina or a penis pretty. Now, we might consider a puppy pretty. We might consider a little infant in the cradle, when you clean that infant up and smelling good like baby's supposed to. We might consider that. But if it was not for the sexual pleasure that we derive from these organs, we would not consider them looking pretty at all or attractive. If only you, black man or woman in America, if you had that same type of attraction, if you felt the same type of pleasure for seeking black liberation. Many of you talk, but you're not really a black liberator. You're not really attracted to your freedom. There are men willing to walk miles and miles and endure all kinds of stuff to get some stuff. But when it comes to black liberation, you don't see it that way. You're not even attracted. It must be, and it has to be, a mental illness that you yearn for sexual gratification, and that's how our enemies keep us enslaved. Because the same way you are attracted to the penis, the same way that you are attracted to the vagina, you should be attracted to your true freedom. You should want to seek true justice and seek equality, not only for black men, but for every man, woman, and child. And you should be willing to walk miles and miles and miles. If black liberation means that we go without a meal every day, whatever the harsh requirement, because that's something that we want. If you only felt the way you do when you want to get between somebody's legs or want somebody to go between your legs. I'm not trying to be vulgar, nasty, but if you felt that way, wanting to get between the legs of black liberation, wanting the black liberation to get between your legs, if you felt the same way, don't you know, black man and woman, we would be free overnight. And in order to get some, and y'all know this, in order to get some, you have learned how to compromise. You really don't like that person, but you want to get some. That person ain't all that cute, but you want to get some. But you don't feel that way towards black liberation. Because if you wanted to get some black liberation, that means you have to compromise in order to get some. That means your brother and sister that you disagree with, that you don't like, but you're going to have to change your ways. You're going to have to be flexible so you can get some. What do you want? It's not a vagina. It's not a penis. What do you want? I want to be free from my oppressors. I want my ancestors to be proud of me. That's what I want. I want my own land. I want my own language. I want my own culture. I don't want to copy somebody else's culture. I want to do my own thing. I want to be independent. I want to be a strong black woman. I want to be a strong black man. That's what I want. I want some sex. I want to have sexual intercourse with black liberation, because having sex with black liberation will produce a free baby, not a slave. Man, if only you and I, the same way that we lust for vagina, the same way that we lust for penis, we will lust and do what is necessary to get between the legs, or let black liberation get on top of us. You're not real with this. If you was as real with black liberation as you are trying to get somebody pregnant, and then the only thing you're going to do is produce more slaves for the massa. That's all you're doing. Black liberation produces free babies, not more slaves. So in the penal system, you have children with the name Muhammad and Shabazz. All these come from up out of our attempt to free ourselves. But now our babies are laying up in prison with the Islamic names that y'all call holy, are in prison. The names of God, the names of Allah, for those of you who are Muslim. Why is that? You did not become free. You became and have become more enslaved. However, when you begin to treat black liberation like you treat this desire and this attraction you have for the penis and the vagina, you will get free, because you will have intercourse not with a physical man, not with a physical woman, but with this idea that should have been made manifest a long time ago. And out of that intercourse, your people, our people, will get free once and for all. Bang on this beast and get this beast off your back once and for all by having proper sex. Have sex with your mind and really be true to what we call black liberation. And then finally, you will be free. Or are you really scared? Jot down your comment. Let's talk about this. Your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad. This was and is the Realist Temple on Earth.